Kyokusho here. Today I decided I'm going to talk about video games and the lies we tell ourselves. Now, it should be pretty self-explanatory to people who have ever told themselves that they're the worst player at a specific game or something like that. And I guess I wanted to sort of talk about the philosophy behind that, regardless of if it gets through properly or not. But in my instance, I will constantly, as many of my friends have heard, or many random people have heard, or just about anyone has heard, I can do better than anyone else on Call of Duty, on Gran Turismo, any given RPG. And no matter how good I am or how many people I can play better than, I will always tell myself the one thing that most people don't believe. I'm a bad player. Now, the reason why I tell myself this isn't because I'm a bad player. I'm really good. I'm gifted with a lot of games, and I understand that. I have a lot of potential to be great, but at the same time, if I don't tell myself that I am a bad player, that I am not that good, I give myself no room to become better than I am. I just resign myself to being as good as I am. And I'd prefer being better than I can be than resigning myself to being as good as I am with no potential for growth.
Bad times. Let's pick ourselves up
I
positive result.
I think that growth mostly comes from a desire to prove either others or yourself wrong. If you tell yourself that you can do better and you don't do better, you're proving yourself wrong. But if you tell yourself you're a bad player and you do better, you're proving yourself wrong in a positive way. Now, proving yourself wrong in either positive or negative, it's not that big of a deal. Either you set a goal and you hit the goal, or you don't set a goal and you don't hit it. Either way, you're succeeding in one way or the other. Now, claiming that you're a bad player and doing better, that's succeeding, but in a different kind of way. There's success in failure, I guess. You fail to prove yourself right, so you succeed in proving yourself wrong. It's complicated. But as far as it goes, there's so many things that you can tell yourself that in certain lights can, I guess, prove yourself wrong and right at both the same time. But yeah, that's that. Right now I'm playing Minecraft because it's a good docile game that I can dork around and not have to pay attention to anything else. But anyways, back on the subject, beyond the lies that we tell us, games as a whole, in regarding what we play, what we like, generally fits into something that we see potential for growth. We see potential for change. First-person shooters has one of the highest potentials for change because it's a game style that you play against other people. It's never the same. Sure, the weapons, the personnel, they're all the same, but the person's mindset, how they play, how they think, it's ever-changing. It's highly challenging. Something similar to that, I guess, and sure, it's not a video game, but chess. Chess is played the same, but it's never played the same. You make 3-4 moves that you always make at the beginning of the game, and then it slows down because you're stuck thinking about every move after that, otherwise you lose. Video games is pretty much the same. You take a step and you see where it leads, and then you take another step and you move starting out in a linear pattern, and then you start drifting off into a potential win strategy. Now, either you're going to win or you're going to lose. No matter what, that's an inevitable. Whether you win or whether you lose is all dependent upon how much you're willing to change. Same thing happens with whether you're good or you're bad. If you say you're good, you're good. If you say you're bad, if you might be good, you might be bad. Now, whether or not you believe it or whether or not you choose to create a new belief is all up to you. You find something that you can change. And always tell yourself, I can do better. If you tell yourself, that's the best I can do, that's the best you're ever going to do. You're going to resign yourself to a set motive of play or thinking that prepares you to fail. Set up to fail, you will fail. It doesn't matter how hard you try to succeed, you will fail. One of the biggest things you got to remember is, like Yoda said, and yes, I'm quoting Star Wars, big sci-fi nut here, but Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. I should try that different. Do or... No, I can't do a Yoda impersonation. But yeah, anyways, if you don't try to get better, you won't get better. If you don't admit that there's a chance that you could be bad or need to get better, then how can you get better? You're not applying yourself in a way that is positive towards what you're doing. Now, there's so many things that can influence whether or not you get better. And this is where the people on YouTube come into view, and it's not quite an entertainment factor. It's more the fact that you can watch how they do something. You watch someone on YouTube play chess. You can pick up on his strategies and apply it in a way that you can make it work. You watch someone playing Call of Duty. You watch what they do, and you apply it in a way that'll make you work. You can do the same thing with racing games. You watch how someone turns around a specific corner, when they brake, how they utilize the gas. I learned this from one of my mom's friends a long time ago. He played Gran Turismo all the time, and he's over twice my age. And yet, just watching him play, listening to how he maneuvered the controller, it taught me how to go through corners. Now, that's video game talk, and surprisingly, it can be drawn to life. I learned in Midnight Club, funny thing to be talking about, but in Midnight Club, I learned that it's better to make a subtle movement going around a corner than it is to quickly jerk the wheel, because you turn smoother. You get around the corner, you don't hit anything, and you move forward. Video games, it doesn't matter what genre you're in. If you make that subtle movement and move forward, you're going to succeed. RPGs, it's progressive, but at the same time, you have to be subtle. You have to think every single fight. Otherwise, when you get to the boss, you're at 1 HP. Linear movement in life revolves around positive thinking. And yes, surprisingly, negative thinking can influence positive thinking. If you say you can do better, you're telling yourself that you did not do your best. That's negative in a positive light. But that's just my thinking anyways. I'm going to stop rambling now. I'll probably touch up on this another time. Kyokusho signing off.